Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. We're taking a quick look here again at Gala, seeing what's going on. I got a request on my Twitter for the monthly volume, so we're going to take a look at that here, more so liquidation based on Gala's 1 month time frame. So we'll take a peek at that. And yes, the answer to your question is I do look at the monthly. I just typically work with the 7-day forecast because it helps us understand more intraday. And for my swing trading strategies, it works a little bit more effectively, but we can kind of just jump right in here. Gala, this is basically the larger time frame chart. We can see roughly in the last 3 weeks, we've seen a massive amount of 2.23 for the liquidation level. That's where the largest amount is. Second most is 2.4, and then tertiary to that is 2.8. Okay, and then of course we zoom in a little bit. We can kind of see that there's some recent shorts, but probably not all that many, kind of forming up here at this upper level. Okay, so again, 2.8 heavy concentration, somewhere around 3 cents even. Then of course, not a lot of shorts, some late shorts here at about 3.6. Okay, so just some friendly advice there, or just a heads up. I'll go ahead and post the monthly on of course our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. So what we're looking at here for Gala, let's jump into the daily time frame first, and then we'll work our way down. Just kind of give you perspective on what's going on here, because again, we passed through a resistance level that was almost retested as support, and we can presume that this level here at about 3.2 should hold. Now again, we are in a pretty big upswing here, and generally speaking, we're above all moving averages, so that's a very good sign. We want to pay attention here to the stochastic RSI if it were to start to diverge, but everything's looking pretty solid. There's literally nothing here on the daily. Even overextension, we're at an 8. We could still continue for another 24, 48 hours, even further. But just know, typically, Gala in its life cycle, when it hits a 9 on TD sequential on the daily, it typically pulls back. Just something to be mindful of. Okay, again, and if you're not familiar with my channel, again, welcome, but more important, a 9 on TD sequential is basically telling us that we've had 9 bullish days in a row with no significant retracement, and the price action is due for a correction. Keep in mind, there was a decent amount of consolidation here, so that could even be a little reset there, what we don't see on the charts. All right, that said, every coin's doing this right now. We're all swinging down here, and the main reason why is because Bitcoin dominance is on the rise. And you're probably going to wonder yourself, wait a minute, Bitcoin price hasn't changed at all. Why is it on the rise? It's because altcoins are selling off, hitting this critical mass where a lot of them look the same. So just kind of paint the picture here. Let's look at the hourly and quickly look here. Does this look familiar? Solana, AVAX, Doge, Cardano, Polkadot, all the same type of patterns that we're seeing here. So this pullback makes perfect sense. It's all based on Bitcoin dominance. And it basically just means that profits from altcoins is being taken, and they're putting the money back into Bitcoin. Really just what it boils down to. Or they're putting in a tether and waiting for a better price on Bitcoin to buy in. It's different ways you can kind of think about it, but that is kind of on the back end there, just so you're kind of aware. 4-hour time frame, quickly to note, we don't have any massive fair value or liquidity here, nothing to really mark on the calendar, so to speak. And if we take a look at the see here, we'll go with a weekly high low. Those are previous, so those are all below the price action, so we don't need to worry about that either. The long story short here is that the price action is diverging, so to speak, and this is a very natural correction. Okay, so nothing terrible. Don't need to write home to mom about this at all. We're good. Okay, we're up to a 7 on TD sequential on the 4-hour. Does imply that we have another 8 to 12 hours of continuation potentially left. But if the price does end up pulling back, it'll probably be to these lower fib levels here that we discussed here previously. Let's go ahead and extend this out a little bit and just go ahead and give you better perspective there. Again, I'll put this on my playout chart, but generally looking at 3.25, 3.2, and 3.01 as potential areas where we could see the price action pull back. Sorry, I misspoke. 3.1 would be the lowest. Again, those are somewhat reflected right here though, right? So we got these 3.1. These are some fib levels here as well. Not exact, but just know if we do drop below this most recent low here at about 3 cents even, right in this range, we could see a massive amount of liquidation. Either way, I think those longs are safe. We got a lot of support here, especially this level here at about 3.2, which is a previous resistance. So those are my speculations to see the price pull back here. If we take a look at the hourly, it's going to give us slightly different projections based on Elliott Wave, but I prefer to go with the 4-hour Elliott Wave in my personal opinion. I think it's a little more substantial because, again, the larger the time frames, the more significant the support and resistance levels are based on fib levels. That said, if we take a look at the hourly, Ichimoku Cloud is telling us that we want to probably consider taking some profit. Okay, lagging spends are in a second with the price action. Conversion line's above the baseline, which is good. Good momentum. We have this nice little support over here. Okay, so there's truth in the fact that the price could come down here to 0.382 and continue upwards, right? We get a nice period of consolidation, good 24 hours. Price legs up again, we're good. the price comes down here and breaks through this 3.2 level, we got to reevaluate and see, so we'd be below some moving averages at that point. We want to kind of take a step back, so to speak, and reevaluate. Okay, so I have an alert set here at about 3.2, so I can kind of take a look at this coin again later and ensure that we're on the right side of the track, so to speak. Okay, but for now, nothing really to worry about. The sky's not falling. We could see the price bounce from here or come down as low as 3.25 and or 3.2 and still be okay. All right, but the truth is here, this does tell us that we might want to consider taking some profit. And I got the question, I was talking to somebody earlier, they're like, I 100% in, 100% out. Why wouldn't you? Well, that's all nice. It is true you can get more profit in some cases, but you're actually going to accumulate less over the time. An example here is for our trades here, just kind of give you perspective here. All these trades that we took, Bell 130%, Vet 155, Crow 4 days ago 45%, Cartesi 56, 66 OGN, all these profits that we took in the last 12 hours. That's all because we structure our trades kind of like this here, where we have multiple entries and 5 targets. And those 5 targets, what they are is they're levels in which we want to be able to take a percentage at each point. Okay, so again, that's the great thing I love about Bitunix. They allow you to have multiple profit targets and trailing stop losses. Also, no VPN or KYC. Be sure to use my link to register for this. Phenomenal exchange. But the reason why we like using them is because they give us the option to be able to do that, and you can kind of average in or out of your position, right? Let's see here. I think we had another trader here do very well with this avalanche, and he closed position as he went through his trade. Okay, and that was based off one of our signals there. We have a section in our Discord to help educate you on how that works. But what I'm getting at is, if you're not setting multiple targets when you take a trade, you're kind of doing it wrong. At least that's, again, my personal opinion. And the reason why I think that is just because, just say, for example, you have a target and you hit your first target and you get kind of greedy. You're like, I'm going to let it ride and see what happens. Price pulls all the way back to break even and you're now out of the game. Or the price pulls back even further and you're sitting at a loss. How many times does that happen to you? Probably a lot, right? It's normal. It's happened to me before too. But we circumvent that by adjusting our stop loss higher as we take our profits. So our automated system basically will adjust as we hit our targets. The stop loss moves higher based on those targets being hit. Okay, and each target is taking 60 to 70% initially, and then maybe 10 to 20% after. Okay, so as we get to our final target, so to speak, yes, we took percentage of that profit early, but we secured profits and made sure we save. We're safe to trade another day. All right. Again, different strategies. Those are all just things that I teach at my university, so I hope that you can learn something there. If not, either way, just take heed here and make sure you recognize that being super greedy in this market, you'll see it. Yeah, it pays off sometimes, but it doesn't pay off all the time. So I prefer to be consistent and steadily grow my portfolio instead of have these massive up and down. I just don't like that. Okay, again, just careful in this market. It's definitely a unique one. All right, so those are my 2 cents. I hope you learned something here today. Again, comment below, like the video if you could, help us grow the channel, and I deeply appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.